gang, what's going on? I was cleaning up around the room today, and I was moving some movies around and things, and I found a documentary that I had bought some time ago, and it was still wrapped. I hadn't watched it, and it's, in their own words, Jim Henson. Okay, it's made by PBS, so of course it's very informative, first off. I have been a fan of Jim Henson my entire life. All the way from Sesame Street to the Muppet movies to the Muppet Show to, any and everything he's done. I just got done watching the first episode of the new Dark Crystal TV show on Netflix with my son, and we have shared a passion for the Muppets together. So everything that he's ever done has been really, really important to me. I would have to say that if I had to pinpoint one person that I would like to meet, just to ask a lot of questions to, and would be my influence and I guess you could say hero or whatever. I mean, you could put other words with it. Maybe better than hero. It would be Jim Henson. I come off as a kind of a gruff, mean, asshole kind of guy sometimes. But deep down inside, I have a lot of the same characteristics as Jim, I think. I try to be creative. If you guys have watched my show for any amount of time, I used to do puppets myself, and I may still go back to those. I have a lot of them. And I just couldn't find my niche when I was doing it. I had a puppet named Zig that I used a lot, and he was a complete and utter asshole, and he reviewed movies, but negatively. I had a lot of fun doing that, but in doing that, you have to do a lot of editing and everything. I even bought a green screen, and I tried my best to do this. I actually made a demo tape. Well, not a demo tape. I actually sent one of those videos that I had made where Zig reviewed Alien, my favorite movie, in a very, very negative way, and what I would think would be what I thought was hilarious. So I was always going for myself anyway. I didn't give a shit if anybody else laughed. But I actually sent it to the Henson Network on a DVD. I copied it, sent it to him. I had a friend of mine named Dan. He had helped me write the whole skit. We went in there and, fleshed it out. I had the green screen going with stuff happening behind me on cue. And we sent it there first class. Well, I got an email and a confirmation that it had been dropped off. So I know somebody signed for it. And that's as close as I've ever been to doing anything like that. But stuff has happened, creatively, that's just, I even almost went away from YouTube for a while. Basically, I just lost my whole way in the creative part of this. I started YouTube after watching a few people talking about movies, and I loved movies. I had one hell of a collection already, and I thought, man, I could do this. I'm not afraid of, that's one thing, I suffer from high anxiety, and I think certain things just don't work for me. But talking in front of people has never been one of those things. And when I'm talking to this, I'm basically talking to whoever's on the other side of this world, back behind the camera. But I've went from 2 or 3 videos a day when I first started, which I think everybody gets gung-ho and does that on YouTube, to once every couple weeks. I have put out one a day for the past week or so, but I've been on vacation, so it's easy to do that. I will probably go back to maybe 1 or 2 a week. But yeah, Jim has always been, like, if you ask me, man, who's your biggest influence in life? It would be Jim Henson. I've watched and read everything I ever could on him. And this documentary is one of the best. No, it is the best documentary I've ever watched on him. It is family and friends and co-workers and different people talking about their experiences with Jim behind. And you've never heard ill words of this man. He was a kid at heart. He loved to laugh and joke. He, no matter what happened, he was just calm, cool, and collected, and he ran the show without getting flustered and all that. And I would strive to be like that. You know, a lot of times I can blow my fuse really fast. I mean, quick. I will just pop off. Some situations I can handle, you know, with ease, and certain situations, not all situations. And I would strive to be like Jim, maybe one day. So make sure you guys check. I'd like to know who your guys's. I use the word hero very lightly, but your influence to whatever you do. I use the creative style. Creativeness is what I go for, and his demeanor. I would love to be something like Jim at one time in my life. But yeah, I'd love to hear what you guys think. I highly recommend the documentary. There are a lot of documentaries on him. This, in their own words, there's quite a few on different people. So, I don't know much about him. I just was searching Jim Henson stuff one day, and I found this on Amazon, and it was like $6. So, you know, this goes from his very beginning of his career out of high school up into the days where he went really big in commercials and made his beginning of his fortune in commercials, to getting onto Sesame Street and creating that whole environment, to going more to an adult stage for the Muppets, and from there decided, you know, we need to do movies. He pioneered the puppets out in the real world like it had never been done at all. The Muppets, not puppets, had made two really successful movies in '79 and '81. The Muppet movie, and just the rest of them just fell into place throughout. And then it goes into two cult classics, Dark Crystal and Labyrinth, and they did not do good commercially. They almost, you'd consider them a bomb, but as far as nowadays, they're, you know, looked at very highly. And then he goes on to do Fraggle Rock, and then the deal with Disney, and on to his death. So yeah, it's a really interesting documentary if you're interested in that. If you're just interested in a story about someone that's so creative and alive, and, you know, bringing so much to the world, you would really like this. So don't forget, I'd like to hear who your influences are, your heroes are, and I appreciate you watching. Later.